What's poppin', y'all? This new Crisean Rock theory that she might be getting arrested for a flat-out murder is mind-blowing, to say the least. And by mind-blowing, I mean the fact that this is clear and utter BS. Now, where did this all start? So the ex-boyfriend of Crisean Rock and the alleged father of Crisean Jr., the baby, that everyone compares to Charles Barkley. I think it hurts my heart for any type of jokes to be made about the child. I can't joke about it, to be honest. It's a sad situation. Like, that kid has done nothing and has to live a painful existence because of everybody involved, with the inception of the child, with the impregnation, whoever it was, and with the devil of a mother, Crisean Rock. But the alleged father, who Crisean Jr. looks like, Ronnie, who is dating Crisean Rock, he was asking for a paternity test.
In the next 4 to 6 weeks, God willing, Crisean is going to be required to do a court-ordered paternity test. And once we get this paternity test, we shall have more. Right here, Junior right here.
You weird as
You weird. You weird. Somebody stalking you. That's my son. That's my son. That's my son. What you want to do? What do you want to do?
I'm calling the cops.
I don't give a f. Call them. Nobody touch you. Call them.
Go.
Yeah.
Go. I'm calling the cops.
Police. You a police. You a police.
So the theory is that this guy was asking for a paternity test, and then they decided to smoke him, or she put a bounty on his head, and a manager of Ronnie, who she was also managing this girl, Bonnie. Yeah, Bonnie, Ronnie. This girl, Bonnie, was on the Bad Girls Club. Bad Girls Club was how Blueface discovered all of these characters. Also, how he discovered Crisean Rock. So there was Bad Girls Club. He had that huge house with like the blue things everywhere. I think this was on OF. This was before like Kick streaming. This would have been a huge reality show on Kick with clips everywhere. But it was on OF, and he would have a bunch of these different girls, and they would just like compete, and he wasn't supposed to be dating any of them, but he would end up taking a liking to Crisean Rock. Now keep in mind, when Crisean Rock gets to LA, she was already dating this guy. She's from Maryland, and this guy catches a murder. So Ronnie catches a murder in LA.
They moved out here, and then he went to jail for murder.
Well, how's the homeless guy involved?
Is he the victim?
Why did he kill the homeless
they
guy?
stayed at a hostel. They moved out here. They didn't have a place to stay, so they stayed in a hostel in downtown LA. The guy was murdered.
The homeless guy was murdered.
Ronnie goes to jail.
riddance.
Crisean tries out for the Blueface house,
Okay.
and then meets Blueface. He's in jail awaiting murder and fighting the charge, and she's just
Booming.
becoming a star with Blueface. He ends up beating the murder case on self-defense. He moves back to Maryland. Crisean becomes an uber star, so he always longed for her. It was his high school girlfriend. When I start
So
managing,
Blueface stole her, like as a
I mean,
Sancho.
he went to
was
jail.
Well,
Yeah,
while
I
didn't
did,
really
but
steal him.
she
didn't
went
even
on
know
the
about it,
reality
probably.
show while her boyfriend's in jail,
Fighting
and then
the
Blueface isn't even like supposed to really be the girls in the reality show, but then he takes a liking to her, decides he's going to blow her up,
Yes.
and then meanwhile this guy's locked up. But then what? He gets out,
He gets out.
and she doesn't even care.
She doesn't even care.
So this is the previous manager who would eventually start managing Ronnie, talking about the situation. So this guy catches a murder, a homeless guy, and this is already bizarre. Keep in mind, right after he catches the murder, he's locked up in jail fighting a murder. Who knows why he caught it? Some people speculate, oh, he was defending her, or he took the murder charge for her. It doesn't matter. A homeless person was killed, and this guy caught the murder charge for it. And then Crisean is doing her thing with Blueface while this guy is locked up. Eventually, the guy beats the case. Dead men tell no tales, I guess, on self-defense. So this guy's out, and he's blowing up, and he's getting paranoid now and telling the manager about everything that's going on, and he's scared he's gonna lose his life.
He starts getting weird, calling me, telling me that Crisean's family's out to get him. He tells me this long story one night. It was so crazy. He called at 4 a.m, like on some like scandal. He was like, I don't know if you know this, but Crisean's real dad is something Malone. He's a politician. His wife is Lisa Malone. She's the biggest black owner of a law firm. And she's like, when Krishan's mom was a
Her
teenager.
dad's Carl Malone.
No, it is.
I was about to say that.
It is.
The mailman?
You know,
The mailman.
listen, and I was so freaked out. And I go, Ronnie,
Yeah.
this is too much. This is like too much a conspiracy. I go, just stay focused. I go, me and Bonnie went through all this. We had to fight the circus, the critics. I go, just stay focused. I'm trying to encourage him. You know what I mean? Like, I got my page taken. I got so much hate from people. And I said, they're going to try to distract you. Like, just, I was trying to keep him on the straight and narrow because what comes with the circus and all that drama is so much. You get it? So that was my whole point. But he was like, they're going to kill me. Like, Krishan's family's threatening me. They're going to kill me. And I'm like, there ain't no way. There's no way. You get it? I said, you're just paranoid. And he was telling me all these conspiracy about her family and all this stuff. Till this day, I could cry right now. I feel so bad
For not listening?
for not listening.
So what do I think at this point? I think the paranoia is real. I believe that this guy was for sure involved in the streets in some regard because you're not a regular stand-up individual member of society. Not only are you dating Crisean Rock, who Crisean Rock has been crazy this entire time. People are like, man, Blueface ruined her. This guy that she was dating caught a murder charge before she was even with Blueface. So you're not a normal person and you just catch a murder charge. That's not happening. But anyway, so I think this guy, with all of the fame and all of the attention surrounding him, that heightened his paranoia. So he's like, oh man, they're after me. It sounds like somebody that's suffering from some sort of schizophrenia. I'm not doing a diagnosis. I'm saying it sounds like that. I don't think that's the case. I think he was just paranoid. When you're getting so much attention and so many people are DMing you and you're not used to that, you will get paranoid. It's understandable. And eventually this guy would be killed. They shot him up. And Munchie B, who is a member of the Bloods, who has also witnessed murders, knows people that have murdered people, he says this out of his own mouth, he asks some of the real questions.
Like, all I could say is if ever someone tells you that their life is in danger, like, please listen to them, because my heart is heavy, because I often think about, like, why didn't I listen to him? I never really thought nothing would happen. I just thought it was like,
Yeah, it's
So
fucked.
so
I
you
just
don't
thought it
think
was the internet.
none of his paranoia came from any activity in the streets? Because her sister said that she didn't fed him at one point and they was close and they stayed together. They argued and the sister, I can't pronounce the older sister's name.
Saseki.
Her.
Yeah.
She had a good relationship with him. They've been knowing each other for X amount of years. So when you say family,
Well, she went on Jason Lee said, and she said
Right.
one day he's seeking paternity, and the next day, pow pow, he's dead. That was her statement on Jason Lee.
yeah, but like is that like a street nigga being tender over a female doing it for her or a family though? 'Cause
I think that's why the story was so alluring, because I don't think none of us could really tell, was it for clout? Was he doing this for this? Was he just jealous of Blueface? But when I would ask him, he would just say, I just want to know if that's my son. The baby looks goddamn just like him.
So he's asking, like, okay, well, but what's the likelihood that a more simple solution is that he was involved in something in the streets and they took him out? Because he was in Maryland still at the time. He wasn't in LA. Like, if he was in LA in a completely different city, it's somewhat understandable where you could tie in some sort of conspiracy. That makes sense because, like, he didn't have beef with anyone here. And Munchie B saying, well, if Crisean Rock got around when Blueface was locked up, and she got around with Blueface when this guy was locked up, and she was with this guy who has a history in the streets as the sister that went on, like Jason Lee was talking about, then maybe she was involved with some other guys, and then this was like some sort of love triangle or some beef happened for this guy to end up getting murdered. That's a more likely explanation than Crisean Rock organized it because she didn't want him to take credit for being the father of the child. Like, let's be real here. Like, the child is nearly 3 years old. The child cannot walk. The child cannot stand on his own. I don't even think the child can crawl. So people fighting over this, and Crisean Rock having family that's powerful in government as if they're trying to cover up a murder. It's a nonsensical conspiracy theory. And this is a growing theme within hip hop that I'm seeing that I don't like. I do not like this at all, because people start to become more distrusting and there becomes more like extreme theories that keep coming out. Like, for example, just a little bit of a rewind. Remember T Grizzly? T Grizzly, years ago, his manager, who I don't think she was his blood auntie, but either way, she was like very close to him. She was his auntie. She managed him. He was driving in a car with her, or like right behind her, and she gets killed. And apparently he was supposed to be the target. What conspiracy theory comes out? And it's not just a conspiracy theory by fans, right? Because fans have always said like, yo, this guy sacrificed this guy, or this person did that. And it's just fans talking, usually kids. You have real people pushing this and saying, yo, he was actually smashing her and she was pregnant and he didn't want it to come out that she was pregnant. So he went and got her and caught a body. And what happened out of that whole situation? Nothing. T. Grizzly never got arrested. T. Grizzly never got questioned. But his traumatic experience of losing somebody close to him was damn near trivialized for people to just enjoy and laugh at, or not laugh at, but speculate about. And he has to deal with that pain. Like, you really think Crisean Rock is smart enough? Not even smart enough. Crisean Rock could put together a hit on her ex-boyfriend that she would never get caught with. The one that didn't even have half of a brain to stop drinking and smoking during her pregnancy. That same Crisean Rock. We're now giving her credit for this. Let's be real here now, man. Crisean Rock she doesn't have the brain for that, and she would have been caught regarding that. The simplest explanation is usually the one that makes the most sense and ends up being real. This guy should have been in LA. He should have been outside of whatever environment that he was in. Whether it was Maryland, this guy clearly had beef. He was clearly in the streets. Like I said, you don't randomly catch a murder charge and then you beat it, and then now you're beefing with other people. This guy had a lot of things going on. That's why I like the panel that they had here at No Jumper. You get a bunch of good different perspectives on the situation, right? Like you've got Adam, you've got Munchie B, you've got this lady that does the whole like marketing managerial side of things, and Munchie B gave very good contrast. He's probably seen a situation like this happen where he's like, I really do think the situation is that this guy just ended up getting killed. And I'll give you guys another example where people created these conspiracy theories that start off local, because Ronnie's sister, they're saying Ronnie's sister was saying that it was actually Crisean's family and they're powerful. What's the first stage of grief? Denial. So of course, somebody that's really close to the family, that's heartbroken from the pain of the loss and grief, they're going to deny that it was what it was, which is this guy got murdered. And they're going to create whatever theory they have in their head to deal with that. So that's not really a reliable source. And like I said, the example that I'm going to give you, you guys remember Ugly God, right? A story that popped up years ago was that Ugly God caught a body in Mississippi, where he's from. What's the story that starts spreading? The family of the person that he killed are saying Ugly God's like great uncle or like somebody that's related in some sort of way to Ugly God is a judge in this district, and he's the one that made sure that the case didn't go forward, even though there was never an arrest for Ugly God. There was never a charge for Ugly God. There wasn't a weapons charge. There wasn't any type of charge. There wasn't aggravated. Nothing. Like whatever happened in that situation, he clearly talked to the cops, and it wasn't even enough for charges to be filed or to plead to something lower. They straight up and down said it was self-defense. Different case from that guy that killed the homeless person. The guy that killed the homeless person, Crisean Rock's ex-boyfriend, he caught a charge. He was in jail. He had to fight that and prove self-defense. So clearly in the Ugly God case, whatever happened, it was so cut and dry and clear that this was 100% self-defense. And I think a report came out where they were saying like the guy had a weapon and he was trying to fire it at him or something like that. But that was a local conspiracy theory that was conjured up by the family members of the person that ended up passing away. It just didn't get widespread attention like a Crisean Rock, because Crisean Rock is still in the public limelight. So do not expect, and I would be shocked if this actually does happen, do not expect Crisean Rock to get arrested for a conspiracy to plot a murder unless she's, I just don't see it happening this much later. And there's a lot of incentive now for DAs to prosecute her because she's a clouded figure. And of course, if you're an attorney, you are a clout chaser, justifiably so. It'll do a lot for your career, for your name and your business. Do I care that Crisean Rock is suffering from this? No, not really. Like, I felt bad for T. Grizzly, of course. I felt bad for the Ugly God situation because that was clearly somebody that was like close to him, and whatever happened there happened. Do I feel bad about the YG situation? Because that's another conspiracy theory that's going around right now. I don't know, but I will say I don't think YG stabbed anybody with his own hands. I can say that much. Now, conspiracy, that's a different story because you start to bring in gangs and affiliations and all of that. But I don't like where this is going, especially not in hip hop, because you have the mainstream, right? Like conspiracy theorists, people that inflame things like, oh, the president's wife is a man, or like, oh no, did like Charlie Kirk really get assassinated, or was this whole thing? There's that side of things. And, you could just, we're not in that realm. We stay away from that realm. We have no interest in that realm. None of that is hip hop related. But those types of crazy theories coming into hip hop, it's just going to sow distrust between the audience and the people covering this stuff. Like, this is nonsense. This is ridiculous. And like I said, the thing that I feel bad about most is the people that are being harmed by this, which is the families that have to suffer again and, I don't know, like, prove that. How the hell is T Grizzly supposed to prove that he didn't impregnate his auntie and that he didn't get her, other than the fact that nothing has happened? And these people never get an apology. Nothing has happened since then. And whoever was like pushing that narrative, they didn't come out and apologize to T Grizzly and say, hey, yo, my bad for pushing that narrative and causing you and her family harm. Because we're talking about, like, they're talking about incest here. Well, I don't think they were actually related, but you get the idea. Like, everybody's caused emotional pain and harm from this, serious pain, for what? To conjure up a theory that might be entertaining to some. And the more distrust that grows, now you're in this dynamic where people don't know who to trust. And when people don't know who to trust, they start believing crazier and crazier things, which is kind of where we're at right now. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Am I tripping? I'm the crazy one, right? For believing that Crisean Rock is incapable of doing something like this and getting away with it for this long. Like, it would have been an open and shut case if that was the situation. Yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see y'all in the next one.